A long, long time ago, all the animals lived in the same forest, and all the animals were friends. In fact, they were such good friends they called each other brother and sister. Except they didn't quite say brother and sister. They said Brer, and they said Sis. So you had folks like Sis Bear, Sis Fox, and Sis Rabbit, and you also had people like Brer Fox, Brer Bear, and Brer Rabbit. Now, this story begins with Brer Rabbit waking up in his briar patch home. What am I gonna do today? A little whoop, 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 uncurling his ears and standing up and stretching. And it's a hot summer day, like probably like the one that you're listening on. And he says to himself, I know just what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna go for a swim. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. And he whips open his door and he runs outside and he goes up a nearby hill and he knows that there's a lake down below. And he leaps right off to go down, down, down into the water and bam! He smacks into solid earth, not a drop of water. And Brer Rabbit, he gets up and he says, "What? Where's all the water? Gosh, what happened? Man, I'm gonna have to do something about this." In fact, right away he starts scratching his little rabbit chin and he says, "This gives me something of an idea." And so Brer Rabbit calls all the animals together and he gets them real excited about digging a well. A well, of course, being a hole that you dig down so deep that you can get to water that lies deep underground. And, of course, pulling it up so that everybody's going to be able to have lots of water to drink and they're going to be able to play in it. And it's going to be such a grand old time. And everybody's going to help dig the well. Everyone's going to help dig it first thing tomorrow. And, indeed, tomorrow comes. And wouldn't you know, all the animals show up in order to start digging a well. Well, except for one. Except for Brer Rabbit. Well, those animals got to work, and I don't have to tell you it was hot work. It was sweaty work, and they were all helping as best they could. The animals with big digging paws, like Brer Bear, moving huge amounts of earth with each movement, and littler animals like the chipmunks and squirrels just getting that dirt farther away, so everybody was pitching in. And right about noontime, who should come hopping along but our friend, Brer Rabbit. Now, Brer Rabbit takes a look at the other animals working and sweating and getting on to all these things, and the other animals say, "Oh man, Brer Rabbit, this is your idea. You're gonna help us dig this well, right? This is all you're kind of seeing, right?" And Brer Rabbit, he looks at all those hard-working, sweating animals, and he looks down at his hands. And he thinks about how much he doesn't want to do that work. And he says, "Well, folks, I sure would like to help, but I don't know if my hands could take to such hard labor." And, well, a few animals grumble a little bit to this, but nobody louder than Brer Fox. Now, as many of you already know, Brer Rabbit is the cleverest animal in the big old woods, but Brer Fox was the most meanest. Now, Brer Fox, he pipes up and he says to Brer Rabbit, "Now, Brer Rabbit, if you don't help us dig this well, this was your idea, you ain't gonna get any water, not even a single drop." And Brer Rabbit says, All right, Brer Fox, we'll just see about that." And off he hops. Whoop, 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 whoop. And the animals keep working. And, gosh, it's just the longest, hardest, toughest day of digging you ever saw. But, boy, those animals, they sure got it done. And finally, right about the end of the day, a paw strikes down and water starts gushing up. And all the animals are all so excited. They're splashing each other and they're having a grand old time. And they're passing a cup around to drink. And who should come hopping along? Well, of course, it is Brer Rabbit. And Brer Rabbit eyes the animals having such a right old time. And he says, "Gosh, fellas, I sure have had a long Brer Rabbit sort of day. I sure could stand for a glass of water." And some of the littler animals look at each other and they think, "Well, we got plenty of water. I guess I don't see why we couldn't." But then, of course, Brer Fox pipes up, and Brer Fox says, Now, Brer Rabbit, you didn't lift a single finger to dig this well. And because of that, you're not getting a single drop of this water. Now you better step off. And Brer Rabbit, he knows that it's not going to be any use arguing with Brer Fox. So instead, he smiles slyly, and he says, Well, all right, Brer Fox, guess I better be going. And away he hops. Whoop, 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 whoop. Now, Brer Fox is clever enough to know that Brer Rabbit's going to come on back. So he gathers all the animals together and he says, Now listen here. We all know Brer Rabbit could come to this well any old time and get water out of it. And we also all know that we can't let that happen. Now, we're going to need somebody to stand guard. Now, who's it going to be? And the animals, different animals start putting their little fingers on their noses saying, Not me, not me, not me, not me, not me, not me. And way in the back, there is Brer Turtle, who starts raising his turtle claw, and he's saying, Not me. And he takes so long to say not me that he is the de facto choice. He is going to be the first one to stand guard. And, what Brer Turtle did is he went up to that well. He sat down by it, and he settled in to take his long, long watch through the night. And Brer Turtle waited. And he waited. And he waited. Until who should come hopping along right about midnight? Well, it was Brer Rabbit. And Brer Rabbit can very easily recognize Brer Turtle in the darkness, and so he calls out to him, and he says, Oh, hey there. Howdy there, Brer Turtle. I sure could use a glass of water. And Brer Turtle shakes his turtle head slowly, and he says, Now you listen here, Brer Rabbit. You know I can't let you have any of this water. Now you better just move on. Brer Rabbit takes a look at Brer Turtle, and he realizes that it's going to be no good to try and argue with him, and in fact, arguing with Brer Turtle would take an incredibly long time. And so, Brer Rabbit thinks of another idea. Brer Rabbit hops off into the woods, really close by, and he finds a large, hollowed-out log. A big hollow log that when you knock it makes a big sound. And he finds two big old sticks, so he can beat on that log. And he starts to beat on it. Boom. Boom. Over at the well, Brer Turtle, Who's there? Brer Rabbit keeps knocking on that tree trunk like they're big footsteps. Boom. 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 Boom, playing them louder and louder, so it sounds like something big is getting closer and closer. Boom, 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 boom. Brer Turtle's looking around. He's got this wide-eyed look, and finally he gets so scared, whoop! He tucks down into his shell. And sure enough, the next morning comes, and Brer Fox comes to inspect the well, and well, what does he see? But little rabbit tracks all around it. And he says, I knew it. Brer Turtle was too slow in order to stop Brer Rabbit. We need someone a little bit stronger and more intimidating like. Brer Bear, I need you to guard this well tonight. And Brer Bear regards Brer Fox, and he says, Now listen here, Brer Fox. I understand you have quite a beef with Brer Rabbit, but look, I've got bear things to do. I've got to eat, and I've got to sleep, and I got to eat some more, and I got to sleep some more. I got my bear schedule's done got full. You know how it goes, Brer Fox. And Brer Fox looks at Brer Bear, and he shakes his head, and he says, I hoped I wouldn't have to do this, but you're going to have to guard that well, or else I'll tickle you. And Brer Bear, I don't know if you know this about bears, huh? Bears cannot stand being tickled. And Brer Bear says, all right, I'll, I'll guard the well. Just don't tickle me. And so, Brer Bear takes a seat down by that well. And he slumps a little bit. And he gets ready for that long, long watch through the night, looking out for Brer Rabbit. And well, Brer Bear waited. And he waited. And he waited. Until right about midnight. When who should come hopping along? It was Brer Rabbit. Now, Brer Rabbit knows all the animals in the woods pretty darn well, and you see, he looks at Brer Bear, and he can see this huge, fuzzy bear shape in the darkness, and he calls out, "Oh, howdy, Brer Bear. I sure could use a tall glass of water after a long day of being me." And Brer Bear, well, he just solemnly shakes his head. Brer Bear says, Now, Brer Rabbit, you know I can't give you any of this water. Now, you better step off now." Now, Brer Rabbit is not really one for arguing, and so he steps off into the woods, where he begins to think of another idea. Now, just like many of you, Brer Rabbit is excellent at putting on different voices, and so he starts making all these voices out in the woods, making it sound like there's a big, old party, but making sure that Brer Bear can hear. Brer Rabbit himself is doing these voices, saying, "Oh, man, welcome to the party. Oh, thanks for coming. Oh, boy, we sure do have all this food. If only Brer Bear were here to help us eat it." And Brer Bear, his bare tummy growls, and he starts drooling. And he thinks, "Oh, what I would give to be at a party like that right now. I've been guarding this well. I'm right tuckered. I'm just so hungry." And then Brer Rabbit starts talking about all the different food at this party that, of course, isn't really there. Brer Rabbit says, "Oh, man, we got so much food at this party. Tell me about the food, Brer Rabbit." "Oh, I'm not Brer Rabbit. I'm just supplying details. You see, we got fish, we got berries, we got all kinds of succulent leaves." And Brer Bear is just holding his head and holding his stomach hole, and he's drooling, and he's thinking about all that food. And then Brer Rabbit plays his biggest card, and he says, "I sure wish we had somebody here to eat all this honey." And well, at that point, Brer Bear decides, no, that's that. For a bear, it would be the most terrible possible crime for honey to go to waste. And so Brer Bear rushes off into the woods to look for a party that wasn't even there. And so morning came, and Brer Fox, just like before, went to inspect the well, and what did he see but fresh little rabbit tracks all around it? And at this, Brer Fox says, "No, no, no! Not even Brer Bear could stop him. Well, looks like I'm going to have to solve this myself." Now, understand, Brer Fox, while not as clever as Brer Rabbit, was indeed a very clever critter. And he had things he wanted to do besides guard that well. And so, Brer Fox did a most unusual thing. Brer Fox went to different pine trees, and whenever he found a pine tree with sticky sap coming out of it, he'd just grab a big old glob of it. And he collected all this sap until he had this enormous, this healthy-sized little blob of it. He had about an animal's worth of sap. And he took that sap and he worked it around in his hands, and he plopped down this little blob in front of the well. And then he took some spare old clothes of his. And he gave it some little stick arms and a little hat, and he had himself a little sap person with a little vest and little arms and a head and a hat and all. And believe it or not, Brer Fox looked down at this little sap person he'd made, and he clapped his hands, and he said, "Well, I reckon that'll do it." And well, Brer Fox, he went off home, and he went to sleep, because he wasn't going to stay up guarding this well. and so what happens next, as you may well know, that sap person, sitting there in front of that well, because it is a person made out of sap, and it cannot move, it is not even an animal. And so, naturally, that little sap person waited and waited until about midnight, when who should come hopping along? Well, it's Brer Rabbit, and Brer Rabbit does not recognize the little person in front of the well. And so Brer Rabbit, he narrows his eyes, but nonetheless, he's a friendly fellow, and he decides to greet it. And Brer Rabbit says to that little sap person, "Oh, howdy there, stranger." Does the sap person say anything back? No, of course not. It's made out of sap. It couldn't possibly talk. And Brer Rabbit at first is just confused. Maybe he didn't hear me. So Brer Rabbit once again waves to this mysterious little person that he can see in the darkness, and he says, "I said, howdy there, stranger." The sap person, of course, doesn't say anything at all. And Brer Rabbit's starting to get a little bit riled and weirded out by this, and well, Brer Rabbit does something that I hope you don't do too much. Brer Rabbit, well, he started to get real mad. And Brer Rabbit talked to that little sap person, and he says, "Now look here, stranger. Where I come from, when you say howdy to somebody, they say howdy back. Now I said howdy." Sap person doesn't say a thing. It's just a little blob of sap. And Brer Rabbit says, "Now look, I'm starting to get kind of riled now. I'm going to say howdy to you one more time. And if you don't say howdy back to me, well, I think I might just hit you in your face. Now I said howdy." The sap person doesn't say anything at all, and so Brer Rabbit winds up his little rabbit fist. Woo! He says, "All right, you asked for it," and he punches into it. And his hand, what's this? His hand is stuck in little sap person, and he says, "What? Let go of me, you crazy person! If you don't let go, I'll hit you with my other hand. I'll do it, I will." And the sap person doesn't say anything. He says, "All right, you asked for it." Ooh! He winds up his little rabbit fist. Both hands are now in the sap person. Brer Rabbit's rolling around trying to get free, but he's stuck in the blob of sap, and he says, "Oh, let go of me! Ah, this ain't no kind of hospitality." And he says, "If you don't let go of me, I'll kick you with my rabbit feet. They're right strong, they are." And of course, the sap person does not let go, cannot let go. And so Brer Rabbit brings up his big rabbit feet, and now all of Brer Rabbit's limbs are stuck in the sap person. He's rolling around on the ground, kicking up dust, getting covered in sap, and farther stuck. And Brer Rabbit's getting exhausted, and he says, "Oh, let go of me! Let go! And he says, "If you don't let go of me, I'll bite you, I will. I got big old rabbit teeth. You'll be sorry then." And does the sap person let go? Of course not. The sap person cannot let go. And so he says, "All right, you asked for it." Brer Rabbit's mouth got stuck on that sap person. And believe it or not, Brer Rabbit was stuck in that little sap person, that little blob of sap, all night long. And so, morning came. And Brer Fox came to inspect the well. And what should he find? Brer Rabbit stuck in that little blob of sap he'd put together. Oh, Brer Fox sure was pleased about this. Brer Fox walked up, boom, 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 to the trapped and helpless Brer Rabbit. And he grabs him by the scruff of his neck, and he pulls him out of that little sap person, and he holds him up to look him in the eye, and he says, "Well, Brer Rabbit, I finally got you where I want you." Now, understand, Brer Fox had all night to think about what he was going to say to Brer Rabbit when he pulled him out of that sap person, and he decided he was going to make it something pretty mean. Brer Fox looking Brer Rabbit, quivering in the eye. Brer Fox says, "Well, I think I'm just going to cook you up and eat you right here and now." And he snarls. "Arr." But you got to understand, Brer Rabbit had all night to think about what had happened. And eventually, he reasoned it could only have been Brer Fox who had done this to him. So Brer Rabbit had all night to think about what he was going to say to Brer Fox. And so, Brer Rabbit being held up by Brer Fox, he looks at Brer Fox, almost bored, saying, "Well, that's all you're going to do? Cook me? Eat me? Oh, well, I'm glad that's all you're going to do, because there's way worse things than that you can do to a feller. I'll tell you what, I am relieved. And Brer Fox is extremely confused at this, because he doesn't know what you can do that's worse than cooking or eating a person. And Brer Fox says, well, what if I skin you, and then I eat you? And Brer Rabbit, he says, oh, well, I'm so glad all you're going to do is skin me. There's way, way worse things you can do to a feller. Why, I would shudder to even think of them. And Brer Fox at this point is looking for suggestions. He's scratching his head with his free hand and dangling Brer Rabbit in front of him. And he says, what else is there? What could possibly be worse? And Brer Rabbit says, well, I reckon, Brer Fox, the worst thing you could do to a feller is you could take him by the ears, swing him around your head, and toss him into that briar patch right over there. The one with the little sign outside that says Brer Rabbit's house. And Brer Fox, he scratches his chin and he says, yeah, I think that'll do just fine. And Brer Rabbit says, no, I didn't think you were going to do it. I was just messing. I sure didn't think you were going to do something that mean. Pretty please don't do it to me. And Brer Rabbit says, Brer Fox says, too late. And he grabs Brer Rabbit by the ears and he swings him around his head. Whoa! Woo! And he throws him into that briar patch. And Brer Rabbit turns head over heels. Woo, 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 woo. And he lands in that briar patch and he goes, ooh, ah, ooh, ooh. And he's getting poked and pricked, but he keeps laughing too. He's just like, ooh, ah, ooh, ha, 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 ooh, ah, ooh, ha, 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 ha. And Brer Fox is extremely confused by this, and he says, why is Brer Rabbit laughing? And then he realizes Brer Rabbit was born in a briar patch. Brer Rabbit lives in a briar patch. And Brer Fox had just thrown Brer Rabbit into his own house. And, well, Brer Fox just slapped his knee. Oh, man, that rabbit, he got me good this time. And, well, Brer Fox decided at that point he was going to give up. And I guess via his cleverness, Brer Rabbit had earned getting water from that well in a weird sort of way, working a lot harder than he would have had to if he'd just helped out in the first place. And so, Brer Rabbit got all the water he wanted, kind of the hard way. There are many, many stories of Brer Rabbit in the Big Woods, but for now, that is the